Hey, okay guys, so for context, I've been working with mining for about 3.5 months now, mostly running ETH and USDT with a few LTC sessions sprinkled in. So by this point, I've got a pretty solid read on how it actually behaves under regular use. After this, I want to get into something that I don't think gets enough airtime in this type of content, the practical side of staying safe when you're moving tokens through platforms like this one. That part comes from actual experience, not theory. But before I navigate anywhere, let me just mention something that came up during my first week with this platform. I kept switching between devices depending on where I was, ran a few sessions from my phone when I was away from my desk, and used my laptop for most of the heavier configuration work. And the thing that caught my attention pretty quickly is that nothing changed depending on what I was on. Same layout, same features, same overall feel, which sounds like it should be the baseline expectation, but a lot of platforms still treat mobile as a secondary experience. Okay, so my dashboard is up, and this is where I spend most of my time. Session setup, live stats, everything I need to manage a run from start to finish is here without having to dig around for it. So first thing I need to do is select a token, and this is actually the part I want to briefly draw attention to before we move on. The platform is built on multi-chain, so right now I've got different assets available to choose from. It lets me align each session with whatever token makes the most sense given my current situation. I'm not working around the platform's limitations. Token is in, then I configure power settings. So here I decide the intensity level, how much of the system's computing capacity gets committed, how aggressively the infrastructure runs throughout the duration, and the reason this step matters is pretty direct. Whatever I set here affects the final output, so it's not something I just click through without thinking. Okay, I'm good with these. Gonna launch it. Good, it started. Console is up right in front of me and shows me all necessary info. Time, resource draw, progress, and a log window that I always keep visible because it gives me a granular view of system activity. So I'm gonna let this run for a few minutes and then walk through the withdrawal side of things step by step. Okay guys, pop-up is right here, session is wrapped, and here's the exact ETH count that came out of this run. So the first step, I add my receiving address for the token. Give me a moment. Good. Next is the infrastructure side. That's the system's charge for running the session, worked out from my configuration settings and the total active time. The thing I appreciate about this is that there's no ambiguity about how it gets calculated. I know what to expect before I even start the session. And this is worth pointing out specifically. I can settle this using any token I want. I'm not locked into one specific option. There's also a wallet connect path that handles it automatically, but I'm walking through this manually so everything is visible from start to finish. Everything is confirmed from my side, and now it's processing my configuration. It should take a couple of minutes. So while that's in process, I want to take 60 seconds to explain what is cloud mining, because I know people come to content like this from different levels of familiarity. So the way cloud mining actually works is pretty straightforward once you strip away the jargon. The whole idea is built around remote infrastructure. There are professional data centers out there running industrial-grade mining hardware at scale, and what this platform does is essentially connect people to that existing computing power. A session gets configured, the infrastructure does the computational heavy lifting on the data center side, and the mined output routes directly to whatever address is specified. No physical hardware involved, no electricity costs, no maintenance cycles. The operational complexity lives entirely on the infrastructure side, and what reaches the end user is just the result. And because the entry point for users looks so clean and simple, this is a space that consistently attracts projects that are very good at faking that model. So I think one of the most harmful ideas floating around in this community is the assumption that spending enough time in crypto eventually makes you too experienced to fall for this stuff. It doesn't work that way. And the thing that makes this such a persistent problem is that this industry never really creates a natural moment to slow down and be careful. New things are always launching, the pace never lets up, and that constant forward motion makes it really easy to skip steps you shouldn't be skipping. So from enough firsthand experience, here's what my evaluation process actually involves. I go through the entire product end to end and how intuitive the whole experience actually is when I'm moving through it as someone who's genuinely trying to get something done. Not reading the documentation, not following a tutorial, just using it the way a real person would use it. And if at any point I find myself stopping to figure out what I'm supposed to do next, or something doesn't behave the way the interface suggests it should, that friction gets logged because it usually means corners were cut somewhere in the build. Okay, so last thing, and I want to make this land properly. The reason I trust what I found with this platform isn't any single session or any single result. It's the fact that across 3.5 months and just over 30 sessions running under different configurations and durations, the experience never gave me a reason to stop and question what I was looking at. Every session did what the platform said it would do, and the overall picture across all of those runs was so consistently clean that at a certain point, I stopped actively looking for a problem because the data kept telling me there wasn't one.